Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with us today. We are here for the Politicking Networking show. I am your MC, your master ceremony, Redell Norman, man. Thank you for joining us today. We back here again, another week, another hot topic, another great guest. We giving it to you live and direct, all the news you can use here today. Thank you for joining us. I want to touch on a few things before we get started today. I got a few announcements. Let's give a shout out to them over there in Zion City with the Zion City Family and Friends Day. That's going to be at 5005 Page Street, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in Zion City. That's going to be 12 p.m. until. Hope they get some good weather. It's been kind of drizzling, but I hope they can make it through that storm, and I hope they have a good time out there. Increase the peace in the city. Let's go ahead and jump into that body count. I have something near and dear to my heart. Let's go ahead and shout out T.D. Raw that lost his life last night. You know, a legend from the Glen Oaks area. He was tragically shot last night. The details are still, you know, coming out. When I have more details, I will give more about that story. But I just want to give a shout out to that brother that lost his life last night, and to his family, Dre and Freelo. You know, we'll be praying for you, and you know, it's a tough situation. His mother was supposed to be laid to rest today as well, but that funeral will have to be pushed back to next week, and it's going to be a double funeral, and I'll have details on that. Let's increase the peace in our city, folks. Moving along, I'd like to introduce our guest for this week, man. Good buddy of mine, brother from another mother. Man, what more can I say, man? Let's just go ahead and jump into it, man. Walter Geno man. Tell me your last name, because you know that's a tongue twister.
McLaughlin, government name McLaughlin. Don't know too many Irish black people, but you know how that goes.
Most definitely.
History of slavery, right?
Right. Yeah. Man, I'd love to, you know, go ahead and jump into it. Could you tell the folks where you're from, you know, your name, where you're originally from? Are you from the Baton Rouge area originally?
Yeah, so originally from Memphis, Tennessee originally.
Big shout out to Memphis.
Whitehaven, Black Haven, South Memphis, stand up. But originally born and raised there. My mom's also from New Orleans, so we spent a great deal of our time in New Orleans. I'd never actually been to Baton Rouge until I moved here.
Right.
And so moved here freshman year, kind of in the middle of freshman year of high school, and kind of been here ever since. Went to college up in Southern, and made this my home. So yeah, man,
that's a good deal. That's a good deal. I'd like you to let the people know about some current projects that you're working on. We're going to get into some old projects that you had, you know, that were growing, but I'd love for to let the people know what you have currently going on in the city.
Well, I mean, I've always been an entrepreneur. Here in Baton Rouge, I was actually traditionally known as a singer, you know, and I performed professionally, man. My group, us three, we performed professionally for about 10 years. But out of that was born music company that we just kind of went out and kind of taught kids how to, you know, how to do music professionally. So that's still ongoing. That'll always be an ongoing work, starving artists. Beyond that, though, I also have a community outreach company where we just take on contracts and kind of promote other events that other people have going on. We also facilitate those events, put them together, you know, production, you know, and so that's abstract as well. So doing a whole bunch of things on the entrepreneurial side. Outside of that, though, you know, I have some other projects that are more related to the community that I am working on. I can't really say what those things are. You know how that goes. You throw something out there and somebody kind of takes that ball and tries to either duplicate it or, you know, So,
but we're gonna be praying for you. You know, often imitate it but never duplicate.
Absolutely. I'll make sure I come here and tell you about it first when we
most definitely. Any announcements that you have, man, here at the Politicking Networking show, we definitely want to get that out to the greater Baton Rouge area, and anybody that is in the area. If you are a black business or you know you're a striving business, we want to support that. So get us your information and we will shout you out. We're on YouTube, we're on SoundCloud, and it is an outlet for us to have. This is what we do this for the community, people. So make sure you inbox us at the Resistance 225 on Facebook, the Resistance.225 on Instagram, and we will get back to you. That's what we're here for. We're here to help the community, and we are putting it down for you. So, you know, on another topic, I'd like to talk about an older project that you had that people might know you from, the Redline project.
Yeah, man. Redline, good friend of mine, Megan Matt, we got together, linked up, and put together basically a visual social justice project where we went into the communities trying to highlight just everyday people, right? Because what had happened was we're talking about post-Alton, post-flood, right? And there had been this narrative that had been put out here of what those people are, those people in North Baton Rouge and beyond. And so even when you look at the name Thin Red Line, what we're trying to highlight is that thin red line that divides the city of Baton Rouge, right? North Baton Rouge to southeast Baton Rouge, right? And to a degree, we're talking about the have and have-nots to a certain degree, right? Not holistically, because obviously we know there are a lot of hardworking families up in North Baton Rouge, a lot of thriving communities up there, right? We know that, right? But the way the media portrays it is that it's just this other side of town where basically, those people live. And so what we worked to do was try to undo that narrative and kind of shed a positive light, humanize those individuals that live in those areas.
Most definitely. Yeah. And what he's referring to is that Florida Boulevard corridor, that Mason-Dixon line of Baton Rouge, where you can actually see the poverty line when you're driving up that street.
Absolutely.
You can actually drive up and down Florida Boulevard and see the disparity of the housing situation, the eating situation, and the education situation, as well as medical situation. There is no medical facility that has a trauma center in North Baton Rouge. There are no eateries in North Baton Rouge that are healthy. You're trying to eat somewhere nice that is a healthy option. That's not an option for you if you're in the North Baton Rouge area.
And a lot of that has to do with government. What happens is, and these are policies. When you start divesting from one community and sending all those resources and all the nice things to one area, what you basically do is starve a community, right? And so, we talk about redlining, while though that official practice might be gone, it still unofficially happens by the things that they do every single day in these places of power. And so basically you got to be able to kind of find your power and speak to power and advocate for the people who have less, because they don't always have access to those rooms.
Most definitely. And I always preach that on the Politicking Networking show. Follow that money trail. If you follow the money trail, you're going to know where it's going. You're going to know what's going on in your city. Shifting over to another topic, I want to talk about our local government. What are your thoughts about our local government as far as our local politicians in the area, how they're doing in their jobs? It's about to be election time again. That time flies, and it's going to be some mudslinging. So I just want to get your thoughts about our local government, what's going on in the city, and how you think they're doing their job.
I mean, it's messy, and I know a lot of these people personally, but I'm not afraid to really get myself in trouble or not. But I mean, if you start from the council level, for instance, right? We're 7-5 split there, Republicans and Democrats. All white Republicans are on that side, all black Democrats are on the other side. With a city like Baton Rouge that is already kind of split down racial lines, right? And really, if we're going to talk about it from racial lines, black people are pretty much in the majority now, right? Now we have to get more politically active too, though, to make sure we are putting people in place in these seats. That way we can, from a policy standpoint, have things put in place that actually help out the black community, right? And not just those who decide to move on south and follow the white folks down to some of these quote-unquote nicer areas. You have to put, even though you move to these areas, because I'll be honest with you, I grew up in Gardere, right? Which just so happened to be, even though it was the hood, but it was just one little strip of hood down in that southeast area. But it still don't mean I can't put on for my people back up in North Baton Rouge as well, because our plights are similar. Now I'm not in Gardere anymore, but I remember from where I came. I remember growing up in Memphis. I remember, in Whitehaven down there, Shelby Drive, right? I remember in New Orleans down there in the 7th Ward, right out St. Bernard Projects. I remember what that's like. And even though I'm not there anymore, I have a duty to kind of make sure that my fellow brothers and sisters who are left back here in the hood, and we can make sure that their reality is a little bit different than the reality I was in when I grew up. But with that being said, you have to engage these politicians, right? Because a lot of times they just seek fillers is what they're doing. They're out getting a paycheck. They're not really trying to put in substantive policies that really do any good, right? And in the black community, so often we're taught that we have to appease the white people. And I'm not saying that, you don't represent all people, but at the same time, who put you there, right? And who's also benefited you know, with the history of a lot of these laws and these policies, who's benefited from that? It ain't us.
Yeah.
So at what point are you going to get to the business of trying to balance out these scales, you know? And I don't have a problem with telling somebody, look, you done gave everything to these white folks. What are you going to do for the black folks now? And I don't think that's about reverse racism. I think that's a false equivalency. You know, in my head, it's about saying, nah, we done did this for so long. Now we're about to right the ship, you know. And I think it's just time that people in Baton Rouge, seeing as though we're growing and growing in demographics, right? Realize we have a black mayor, you know. Hey, look. Realize whose name is on that office, and realize also who put you there, right? And you can't be so caught up in, well, I'm serving all people. You're going to serve all people, but Baton Rouge does not continue to thrive until all people are thriving. And so at some point you got to balance that scale. I'm just all for that, you know.
Man, I love it. I love it. So let's just segue right into it. Possible run for office, you know, because I love what you're talking about. You know, I love the the passion which you have, and you know, I agree with with your sentiments. What would be your?
I don't know if they want me to run. Like, man, who let this Negro up in here? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nah, I mean, the problem that I don't know if I had a temperament, and what I mean by that is, you know, Donald Trump has kind of undone some of the rhetoric. You know, there used to be a lot more PC. Well, maybe I would fit into this current environment because I feel like a lot of these folks need to be chin checked a little bit. You know,
yeah, most definitely.
You know, especially in this environment where they feel like they can get away with all this slick talk and stuff. I don't know if I had a temperament to kind of just tuck some of that in. You know, where I'm from, you know, we tell it like it is, and so. That might get me in a little trouble. I don't know, but I definitely have the ability to, you know, articulate myself in a way that can get across to everybody. One of my strong points is why I get into every room is because I have the ability to kind of pretty much fit in with most people. Right. But don't mistake that for, you know, don't mistake my kindness for weakness. You know,
most definitely.
I think at some point. That might be on the radar at some point. Just gotta see if it makes sense. Right now, I kind of prefer kind of being behind the scenes and holding influence without having to take all the
brunt of the person that's in the front of the line.
Yeah, because they don't know me like that.
I know. But here at the Politicking Networking show, I just want to take time and say thank you for what you're doing in the community. He's always behind the scenes. He's doing stuff. He's fighting for you when you won't fight for yourself sometimes. So I just want to take time out, and that's what this show is for, to actually just salute this brother and keep that fight going. And we really appreciate what you're doing in the community, man. And we're gonna be putting that pressure on you to run for something because we do need that voice down there, downtown, and in these meetings. We need to be represented, and we need to have that bluntness about us and stop being so apologetic about taking or wanting something that is rightfully ours.
Absolutely.
So I would, impress upon a lot of people, hey, get involved with politics. Know who your local politicians are. Know who these persons are that's representing you. Know what they're voting for. Know what's going on in your city. Yeah. Just like G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle. So I would hope that we would all pay attention and just get with the movement as far as knowing what's going on.
And the truth is, look, we all half the city, right? We pay half these taxes here. So why does this half of the city look one way and the other half doesn't? Ask yourself that, and then get involved.
Exactly. And speaking of local council member seats, I would like to send a rest in peace shout out to council member Buddy Amorosa that passed away the other week. Had an incident. He was riding his bicycle and was hit by a vehicle. So his funeral services were this week, so we'll be praying for his family and everybody that's near and dear to that brother that lost his life. With that being said, no disrespect, but we need to be paying attention because there is a vacancy that is right now in the Metro Council. So we would, anybody that's interested, that's from their community, I would, would like you to, have some courage and step up because we need leaders coming out. It's an opportunity for us to get another seat, in our city, so we can actually make a change. We can make these policies and get more votes than what we're trying to do. So I would like to say rest in peace to him. But at the same time, let's be vigilant. Gotta be. And let's be mindful of that situation.
But it's the time. It's the time for that. Obviously, like you said, rest in peace to him. I definitely didn't agree with most of his policies. If we're gonna keep it real. However, death, while one day it's gonna come to all of us, it definitely came a little sooner than expected to him. But with that being said, like I said, a lot of I felt like his views and even though he was he would reach out and, definitely talk to him. Don't think that he would always listen. He was going to, push things that wouldn't always be beneficial for our community, right? And so, like you said, we do have an opportunity to replace Buddy with somebody that is more akin or more aligned with what how we're viewed. Absolutely, they're not just our views, the things that really need to be done on the council. If you know the dynamics of the council, it's a 7-5 split, like I said, 7 white Republicans, 5 black Democrats. So now, basically,
we have an opportunity to have a 50-50. It would be a fight in every aspect of every part of our government. We could be able to fight.
Absolutely.
So it's imperative that we get another seat to where we can have equal visit. We want equal power.
Yeah.
Just the fact we are half of the city, we want half of the power.
We want more than half.
We want more than half.
We're coming for everything, really, at the end of the day. July 19th, there's an opportunity for people to get engaged. Come down to your city council meeting. They'll be discussing the replacement of Councilman Buddy Amoroso on that day. And really, the power kind of holds in those black Democrats, right?
Most definitely.
Because what will typically happen is they'll either give the opportunity to the spouse, right? Well, what happens when that happens is that the spouse usually stays in power, or whoever they appoint, right? They'll stay in power, and the next time the special election comes around, that person, because they have name recognition, they usually get reelected in there. Well, it doesn't have to happen that way. If the Democrats hold their line and the Republicans hold their line, what happens is it actually goes to the governor. We have the Democratic governor, John Bell Edwards, who's in office, and he then has the power to appoint anybody he wants to. I know Antoine Pierce ran in that district the last time. He didn't win, but he did run in that district against Buddy. And there's some talk that I think Mike Wilson might try to run as well, but who knows? Who knows? Certainly, definitely needs to be somebody who's going to be thinking about the issues that affect us and how to move us beyond this moment.
Most definitely. We definitely need a progressive thinker in that seat. We need somebody that's going to be fighting for us when these bills and these laws are trying to be appointed to our city. So, rest in peace to that brother, but I'm glad that we touched that topic. On another topic that's kind of serious in our city, let's talk about hurricane prep. Let's just be mindful of the situation. It's been raining every day. There's actually 2 storms out there right now. They really don't know the course of them, but I would just want to ask your views. How do you feel about being prepared for the hurricane since we went through our situation in 2016?
I mean, geez, we've been through enough of those situations, not just 2016 with the flood, but even beyond that, Gustav, I know we all remember that, and then also obviously Katrina. Even though Katrina didn't affect us as Gustav has actually hit us harder than Katrina did. But I know if you have any family from New Orleans like I had, we had 30 some odd people in our house, right after Katrina, in a 3-bedroom house. So we know what hurricanes do here, and so it's just, look, we know what it takes. Go ahead and start stocking up on water right now. Don't wait till the last minute to go up in Walmart and, you mad at them because all the aisles they do. We've been through this enough times. Get your water now, get your batteries now, get your flashlights. Make sure you have everything loaded up. Get you some extra charges for electricity, and if you can get you some generators, get with some neighbors. You have to be prepared, because what you don't want to do is end up being unprepared, and now you're in a situation kind of fighting for life and death. So just make sure you're prepared, and also know exit points. Don't wait for the water to come. We know what type of city we live in, infrastructure-wise, and I'm not just talking about Baton Rouge people, but also in New Orleans. A heavy rain sometimes will happen, and we'll be inundated with water. So. Just make sure you guys are thinking ahead of time. Now is the time to go to the store and get prepared for that now.
Most definitely. I would just want to remind the public to just, have your head on the swivel. And let's pay attention, people. We don't want a situation that happened like last time. Moving on right along, I want to get your thoughts on the national government scene right now. It's a lot going on with, the situation that's going on in South Texas. Trump keeps us entertained every day with his shenanigans. So, I just want to get your thoughts on the national government right now. What's, the temperament, what's going on in the White House right now,
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a saying that all politics is local, right? Well, I think we also see that why federal elections matter as well, from the stuff that's going on down in South Texas at the border, right? Families being you know, separated kids, you know, going into, you know, you have a kid who's separated from their parent. The parent ends up in Texas, but their kid is up in New York. You know, you can't have that type of stuff happen. And then they don't know who the kid is for. They're losing the documentation, and you know. And some will argue that, well, it's the parents' fault. Well, look, they're out here searching for a better life, just like we're all immigrants. You know, unless we talk about the indigenous people of this nation, we're all immigrants here, right? Some of us came here involuntarily, you know, some involuntary. We wouldn't call us immigrants, really. We built this country. But the point is, these people are coming here for a better life, right? So, again, going back to the political side of it, I think Auntie Maxine, you know, she said, look, you have a voice as well. When you see some of these people out and about, confront them. You know, yeah, you ain't got to get aggressive with them. You got to put your hands on them, but you can definitely let them know how you feel about what's going on in this country. We got a Supreme Court pick. One of them already got stole from Obama, right? But then now we have Trump about to appoint another one within less than 2 years here, within 18 months. And what is that going to do? Now we're talking about Roe versus Wade. We're talking about a whole bunch of things when it comes to unions. We're talking about stuff race related as well. You know, college admissions. All of these things are really important, and they have a trickle down effect that then affects you on the local level. And so you gotta you gotta be involved, man. I remember on Mayor Bloom's campaign, I headed up. I took a group of, I think it was about 18 to 20 young black men out in Central Louisiana, which y'all know about Central. It's
most definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely not comprised of all of us. And I asked them, brothers, hey man, y'all voted already. Many of them hadn't even voted. Many of them weren't even planning on voting. And I had to have a conversation with them, like, here you are working on a campaign, and you aren't even planning on voting.
Right.
And so make sure you're staying engaged, make sure you vote, because your vote does count. You know?
Right.
Even if you don't think it does, have your voice heard, man.
Most definitely, and I will reiterate that point, because in these elections that are happening, there are slight margins of victory that are going on. Slight, and when I say slight, it can be a difference of 100 people.
Yeah.
You know, it's that close, people. It's not what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Even if you have a situation, you can early vote.
Yeah.
You know, we always make time to do whatever we want to do in life, but we need to make time to make change in our life as well.
And not just, I mean, think about that. A lot of times in those federal elections, you also have DAs who go up, right? So when we talking about things that really affect our community, judges and district attorneys, these are the same people who are going to prosecute you, right?
Yes.
Or who say Alton Sterling offenses, right? Who choose, you know, whether or not when a law enforcement officer shoots down a young black kid or a young black man or a black woman, right? That's who decides whether or not that's going to get prosecuted. And these judges are the ones that, you know, putting these heavy-handed sentences on these young black kids. You know, think about that. They make those decisions. Go vote, man. It affects you.
I can't reiterate that point even more. You have to go vote, people. You know, I will be, you know, let me go ahead and hit this topic right quick. If you need to vote, contact us immediately.
Absolutely.
I will pull up on you with the voter registration cards. Literally. If you need to vote, we will make it as convenient for you as possible. Even if we are inconvenienced, we will make it convenient for you. So please, it's that important, people. So please get with us. Contact us at the Resistance.225 on Facebook, the Resistance.225 on Instagram. Inbox me. I will respond. I will get back to you. People, vote. Let's vote. You have no excuse. I will pull up on you. If you're in the greater Baton Rouge area, I will come see you. I will come see you. Let's take a little pause to give some shout outs. I want to give a shout out to a new barbershop that's opening up. A1 Quality Cuts and Styles, Airline Highway Suite B. I want y'all to go there and support that young black brother that just opened up that shop there. It's real nice. I've been inside. It's going to be immaculate when he finishes. I also want to give a shout out to Octagon Media. They're doing things over there at 4600 Sherwood Common Boulevard, Suite 301. Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70816. And also a shout out to Johnny Jones with Certified HVAC Technician. Call him at 225-522-2362. Anybody else that wants to get their business shouted out on the Politicking Networking show, you can inbox me again at the Resistance.225. I will respond. We will shout you out. We're about that black business, and we will get your name out there. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on SoundCloud. Hey, We are here to stay. We have our show every week. We have a hot topic every week that we're going to be discussing. And let's just jump back into it because I definitely want to knock out a few more topics. You know, that time is flying, but I definitely want to knock out a few more topics before we get out of here. Let's go ahead and talk about sports. You know, it's this week has been a lot going on, and let's just go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, LeBron. Most definitely, So, what are your thoughts with the LeBron situation? Him going to LA, and you know,
I gotta be honest, right? I don't like it, but I'm also not a Laker fan. Sorry, folks. You call me a Laker hater, but I'm also an old school bad boy Piston fan. So it just ain't in me to like that purple and gold. You know, I just can't do it. I'm talking about old school Isaiah Thomas, Dennis Rodman, right. Clothesline you in the air type.
Most definitely. You come in the paint, you know, you think it ain't.
Joe Dumars, and shout him out as well. But so being cut from that cloth, it's just I just can't, you know. But what it does is it does bring an extra team to the West, you know. So now the West was already hard, and really I didn't think LeBron was about that life. I didn't think he was. No, let's be real, you know.
I thought he was gonna stay in the East as well. Like I never would have pegged him to go to LA.
And we talk about him, you know, running off this string with 8 consecutive finals. Right. That was over there in the East, partner. I don't know that you're gonna even get out the West. You know what I'm saying?
It's serious. It's something serious going on over there in the Western Conference.
Now you got Boogie Cousins that have joined an already locked and loaded Warriors. The Warriors team that beat LeBron really was it 3 times already, and it could have been a 4th time had the league not got involved in suspending my boy Draymond. But it's neither here nor there.
It's neither here nor there. You know. Hey, men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie.
Straight up.
Man, you know, I was going to talk about that Golden State, but you went on ahead and got to it. I'm just going to put my thoughts. I don't like.
Which one? The LeBron move?
No, I love the LeBron move. I've become an instant Laker fan.
I got you.
Overnight. But I will also just say, you know, it's kind of like cheating. Like you got a mutant team over there in Oakland that has all these all-stars. You know, it's just, you know. It's a crazy situation, but hey.
But you can't blame them. And really, if you look at it, it starts. Well, first of all, we're gonna be real about it. It's always been that way. All these teams that we named, the teams in the '80s, right? The Lakers. Right. It was 4 and 5. Not just all-stars, but you have Hall of Famers on that team. You know, if you look at the Pistons, I just talked about, I can name at least 3, maybe 4 Hall of Famers that were on that team, right? Go to the Bulls. How many were on that team? You know, 3. Then moving to the current era that we're in, LeBron then hops around. He wants to build his super team. Now, at least in Golden State's case, them dudes was drafted. Those dudes, we didn't go back. What they've won 4 years in a row, basically, or 3 years. About 5 years ago, we didn't even know how good they were. We were questioning whether or not these dudes were as good of a shooters as Mark Jackson was saying they were, and so. They just so happen to turn out to be all-stars. KD decides he wants to come make them even better, you know. Hey, why would they turn it down? And if Boogie wants to take a pay cut, look, that's just a business decision right there. Homie, you want to come join me for less money? Please.
Hey. Well, I know one thing that really hurt our Pelicans down here in our state. You know, we lost Rondo and we also lost Boogie. So I don't know what they got going on down there, but I would hope that they would be doing some work up there in that front office.
Yeah, they want to keep. You want to keep AD around. So
you know, he just bought a house in LA, so you know, let's make this man happy. Let's keep him in the boot. So let's do some work, people. Let's do some work. Shifting over to the NFL, you know, a lot of people say they're still protesting the NFL. Some people are saying they're supporting. What are your views as far as when the season starts right now?
I mean, I missed all of last year, and I know a lot of people talk that, you know, they give you a lip service. Nah, most of the people were watching them games. But I thought it was actually going to be a real sacrifice at first, right? I was like, man, my Saints, you know, I'm a diehard who that, you know. Once I got into it, it really wasn't as hard. Number one, social media, they don't let you know almost play by play what's happening, right? But then beyond that, at what point are you willing to make a sacrifice? I know going back some years, black folks were willing to make a sacrifice for a greater change. And if I can't give up a little football on Sunday, first of all, I ain't making no money. I'm giving you money. Matter of fact, if I can't sacrifice a little, you know, enjoyment of football, then what am I really doing? You know, I've given up other stuff. You know, Papa John's, I don't eat it. You know, Waffle House, I don't go there. You know, Starbucks, I ain't drinking it. You know, but I definitely can give up some football. I did a story on NPR They interviewed us last year during the boycott, and what I said then still holds the same. You know, it's a small price to pay for our own freedom. You know, I think it's not so much a protest against. It didn't start out as a protest against the NFL, but it turned into that once the NFL colluded to kind of basically blackball Colin Kaepernick. Right. Now I got a problem with all of y'all. You know, exactly. Saints included. You know, and so if that's how y'all are handling the business as a collective, then I don't want no parts of that. You know, I don't have to watch your product. You know, I might still secretly root for the Saints. You know, since y'all gonna play the game anyway. Well, hopefully the Saints win, but at the end of the day, I just won't be included in watching. You know, and if they think that my one little vote or my my one view won't count, I think if enough of us get together and say, hey, we're withholding our views, our dollars, then I think it'll get people's attention. You know, I look at it really as a public lynching. It's really the way I look at that. What I mean by that is, it's the same effect that what Mike Brown was supposed to do, right? They left that boy's body to send they left that boy's body in the street for about 4 hours to send a message to the community. Hey, this could be you. Same thing they used to do back in slavery or in the Jim Crow days, right? They're gonna hang a black man up by a tree to let you know this could be you. You know, don't do that. And so what the NFL basically is doing is make an example of Eric Reed and Colin Kaepernick saying, hey, you can kneel if you want to, you can get out here all loudmouth if you want to, but we're gonna cut your paycheck. And so if you're down with that type of stuff and watching the NFL, and it's not me judging the people who choose to, right? I'm just saying, as for me in my house, we used to have a thing on in my house.
As for me in my house.
Yeah, we're gonna serve the Lord. Well, me and my house, we ain't watching the NFL until they do right by us.
Most definitely. Yeah. And we appreciate that stance on that, and we need to, shine a light on that subject and that situation. Yeah. Like you said, shout out to Eric Reed and Colin Kaepernick. Eric Reed is right here from this area, so we talked about their brother a few weeks, and we also want to be fighting for him because he's also being blackballed as well. Yeah. Man, that time has been flying, man. We already at that 30-minute mark. It's been a great interview, but I definitely want to get some shout-outs in. I want to go ahead and make that announcement for our third annual back-to-school giveaway, 6525 Greenwell Street, Producer Meat Market.
Yeah, same again, man.
Most definitely, man. I love the support, man, that the community gives us, man. This is our third year that we're doing it, and we will be there from 5 to 7:30 will be the time. And we got the same things last year. We got book sets, we got supplies, we giving away haircuts, hairdos, free food, free cold drinks, a lot of educational supplies. We're gonna have a lot of activities for adults as well as children, a lot of live performances. We're gonna also be dedicating these shows to TD Rowan as well as Louis Badass that performed at the back to school giveaway last year that lost his life recently. We definitely want to make sure that we donate his kids all of the supplies and things that they need for school. That brother came out and supported us last year, and we want to continue to support him. As well as TD that lost his life yesterday. So shout out to those brothers. We'll be praying for those brothers. Also want to let you do your shout out, because it's a lot of people that, be behind the scenes that we have to let know. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over.
First of all, I don't want to start naming names because there really are a lot of people that have shown up in the last couple of years that have held it down for the city, trying to build this burgeoning collective or community of organizers, activists, what have you. Trying to. Sometimes you feel like you're fighting a fruitless fight, but they show up every time. And really, the word is just trying to get the word out. Look, you need more and more people to come out. Whether it be to a council meeting, whether it be to a school board meeting, or sometimes whether it be just showing up and knocking on a politician's door, writing a letter, whatever it is, whatever you can do, use your energy to do that. So shout outs to all the activists, organizers, man, who are really out here sacrificing their time to kind of put on for the city. But beyond that, make sure you guys follow the Rouge Collection. They'll always have a fresh perspective on what's going on around the city. There's a new outlet called The Baton Rouge. Make sure you support that publication as well. And then The Drum has been around for years as well. These are all black publications online. You can find them and just check out what they're doing. They're bringing a different perspective from the urban community into the limelight. And so make sure you guys go check that out. If you guys are looking for ways to get involved, it's not always about activism. Sometimes it's just giving back to the community. You can always get involved. It takes a village. They're out there every Sunday under the bridge serving the homeless, and that thing is really, really taking off. I know some people from what is it, Queen Sugar. They sent some donations down to this, but this really was just a group of people who got together and said, hey, look, we're just about to serve these homeless people. You know, who gonna stop us? You know, now they have church out there sometimes. You know, and it's really, the community has really kind of come out to support them. So if you're looking for ways to get involved, go take one of your Sundays out, you know, take your family out there and help serve the homeless. There's a Futures Fund to those places. Check them out, man.
Most definitely, man. It's been a pleasure having you here today, man. Thank you for coming in, letting the people know what's going on in the city, man. This brother been fighting for us a long time, and man, we just appreciate him coming into the Politicking Networking show. That's been our show for today, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on SoundCloud. Make sure you follow us, subscribe, man. We here, man. Shout out to the Antidote that's hosting the show, man.
Yeah.
We got it going on, man. The resistance is here. We're here to stay, man. Here at the Politicking Networking show. Salute, man.
Thank y'all for having me.
Most definitely.